Welcome to our Weekend Politics, of course, the Friday edition, and live and direct on top of Lifeline podcast. You know how we do our thing. But my men are looking ready for the weekend, and of course, you can see Ghana, PK. I got wind of the fact that they have one Bachelor Eve. How can this kind of men go for Bachelor Eve?
Which bachelors do you have?
Today is Friday.
So I learned you have Bachelor Eve today.
No, not the Bachelor's Eve. Now one Yoruba party.
Owambe.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand the dynamics.
No, I'm representing the Northerners in that very occasion. You know, Yoruba people go many. So if they bring Yoruba cooler, it go quick finish. So the Northerners will be fewer.
So that brings us to our topic. You are attending a Yoruba event.
Yes.
Does that mean to say what Baba Shelawa, the like of Kwankwaso, said to the president that he's trying to Yorubanize Nigeria? Does that really buttress the point? Because you just mentioned it, you are attending a Yoruba event. Is it true? According to, although I was expecting a reporter from the presidency, and just like we are expected, Daniel Bwala, of course, the aide to the president on media, just came out to said, what Baba Shelawa, his big uncle, I'd like to just say, give a quote from what he said, Daniel Bwala. He said, some of the things that my uncle is saying about the president are not a reflection of reality. He said, while I try to avoid interrogating the choice of words used, which I believe are not friendly and would not be good for children or for people who, in fact, value relationship. Because if you have a relationship, even when you fall out, there are what we call the rule of engagement. But from you, let me come to you, Ghana. Do you think what Baba Shelawa, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso say about the president, not recognizing federal character, do you think they are true?
Well, I think for some time now, the Nigerian presidency had made it like a point of duty that every government that comes seems to want to favor their people and do not look at the federal character, what the federal character should be in terms of employment, in terms of, development. If a northern president comes, he takes almost all the projects to the north. A southern president is there today, is doing the same thing. I think that actually ended at the regime of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who spread development across the nooks and crannies of this great nation. He didn't look at taking some specific development issues to Bayelsa or to the South. As a matter of fact, those of us from the South during his regime, we they tell and say he carry all the development to the north. Do you understand? Goodluck Ebele Jonathan didn't care. But of course, when the late President Muhammadu Buhari, when he came into power, he took impunity to a different level, where at some point he was even appointing, people who had passed, for political appointments. Ghost appointment. And it took Nigerians to cry out to say, these people where they appoint, so someone don't die 3 years ago. Do you understand? And he took it to a different level where he made sensitive appointment positions, strictly a northern thing. And that became a problem. And then, even though Nigerians were shouting, he didn't care. There were no point time that the late president saw those things as issues. And then, Tinubu is here. Unfortunately, it could be like say everybody work on, they take the problem to the next level. And today, if you also look at the appointments going around in Nigeria, you have no reason but to worry and ask yourself, where are other regions of the country? Where is the representation? The Federal Character Commission, what are they doing? Because the reason why that commission was set up is for things like this, where appointments should be shared across all the regions, where nominations should be made across all the regions. But today, we are not seeing that play, unfortunately. So I do not think that Babachir had said anything out of the ordinary that Nigerians do not know. He has just spoken the reflection of what is so visible for the Nigerian audience. We've been seeing and we've been complaining and talking about it.
That's beautiful. So there is no reflection of what Babachir Lawal said, or there's no different from what Babachir Lawal said, because it's something we see.
Definitely.
Now, do you agree with the fact that the late President Muhammad Buhari set the precedent for what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing, or would you rather disagree that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking a lead in not following the federal character? And suffice it to say, do you still agree with what the like of Rabi Musa Kwankwaso and Babachir Lawal, what they alluded? That, okay, yes, the president is actually trying so hard to Yorubanize Nigeria.
I wish people like Babachir Lawal, who was a member of the Buhari government, at some point came out during the Buhari's government and accused the Buhari government of northernizing Nigeria. One person that I know that came up at that time and spoke about this thing was former permanent secretary, the secretary of Arewa Consultative Forum. I've forgotten his name now. He was the only one that came out to accuse the
Ahmed.
Yes, Ahmed. Yes, Ahmed. Yes, that's his brother. You know, so that's Hakim Baba Ahmed. He was the only one that came out and said, "Look, these things are not right," because at that point, all the army chiefs, all the service chiefs, all the security agencies, almost all of them, with exception to very few, you know, they were all
not enough,
you know, and all that. Now, those are nepotistic tendencies and behaviors that he brought on board. But the funny thing is that the people that they appointed didn't reflect development in the north. You see, the people that they appoint most times is for so much infrastructure. There are people that they care for themselves alone. If the northern, you know, that were appointed cabinet, there are people that would develop these states from the southwest. You see, they have not done Nigeria any good. If we see the era of Obasanjo, we saw a lot of northerners that had key position. If we see the era of Yaradua, 2 years plus that he ruled Nigeria, we saw the Niger Delta benefit. He introduced the amnesty, you know, and said, "Look, let us come together and do things together." He obeyed what we call the rule of law. Now there's no rule of law. I mean,
good luck, Jonathan also tried.
You know, so these people undermines the fact that there is one nation, Nigeria. Development to the south, east, west, everywhere north should be sacrosanct to everybody. And I normally say that the governors are to be blamed most of the time.
I wanted to come to that, but okay, let me hear from you. Go ahead.
Yeah. The blame that we need to extend to the governor. Every state gets, in fact, I just learned that at a particular point in time, every state gets close to 300 million, apart from allocation, security votes that they don't account for every year, every month. Now that money, what do they do with it? And we saw the Zamfara state governor telling us the other day that we have to be praying for God to protect us. I mean, praying, yes, I'm a Christian. I pray very well. I believe in God's protection. But what God has given you, he don't say pray for it anymore.
So if he's talking about us praying, he should just bring the money and put it in the mosque and the churches, so that we know that what we need to be doing is to pray and forget about buying ammunition.
So that brings me to, yes, forget about buying ammunition. Let's pray. Good. Now, but let's dwell on the president now.
Okay.
Before we come back to this, because we'll still go to the state. You believe strongly on loyalty.
Yes.
Right? Is the president not exhibiting that form of I follow those who are loyal to me. If you look at majority of the people in his cabinet, I saw a throwback video, a picture of the president then as a governor in Lagos State. I saw the present IG behind him, and that brings to mind that he is the president and now is the IG. So that also erodes the talk on federal character, where I trust you and we have worked together and I know your capacity, I know what you can do. Does that also erase that?
No, that cannot come to play in this kind of sector. You see, on that day of his inauguration, he took an oath to be a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Not a president to his friends, not a president to his family, not a president to the people of the Southwest. And so, having taken that oath of office on that day of his inauguration, he had swore to put the people of Nigeria first before personal interest. And now, you see, what he is doing would only give rooms for more agitations from different, angles and different regions of the country. When we talk about federal character, of course, you cannot take away the fact that when appointment is being given across every region, development naturally, it's supposed to go through those ministers, through those DGs, through those appointees down. It trickles down to their region. Now the question again is, are these people, like PK said, taking those advantages to develop their region? That is secondary. But primarily,
are they supposed to, if you are appointed as a federal under the cabinet,
yes,
are you supposed to use that as an advantage to develop your own place or the nation?
Okay, so again, this now boils back to what they are supposed to do naturally, and what they are now doing. Do not forget, even in politics, there is what we call lobbying. Right? The fact that the Minister of Education, for example, or the fact that the Minister of Aviation, for example, is from Delta State, it is just going to play that a lot of people who owns airline would want to do things to ordinarily favor people from Delta State.
So why are people crying? Why are people crying when the Minister of FC? Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
I know you have an interest in this. I'm going to say now. Why are people then crying when the Minister of FCT is giving his friend lands in Abuja? And of course, you say he is expected, but now his people, his friends are the ones having some of the revoked land to themselves.
Okay, no. So now that is different. For example, Abuja is the federal capital territory, right? Now, you cannot say because you have a position, you want to acquire every property in Abuja for your friends and your relatives. And if you also look at the hectares of land that they've accused him of giving to his son and the process in which he went through to get those documentation, like we read, they were less than 24 hours, some were less than 74 hours. The processes were not followed. Due process. Now, I am not saying that it is right, but even in government, they will tell you that there are certain things that you have to lobby for. So whether it's right, it's secondary, but you must lobby to get it. It is an accepted practice all over the world. So, okay, so if we're also looking at it, then why are we going to justify federal character? Because they know that when you naturally give people different positions from different regions, there is naturally an interest that flows and trickles down to the people of that region.
Okay.
Now, it is different from when a president sits and says, oh, these are my friends. We've been together for a long time. And then, because I'm from the Southwest, I should just favor people from the southwest. Now, what does that also do? It now brings that idea of people naturally wanting to favor some set of persons because they feel they are holding a political position to just that region.
Okay, so fine. Now, I'll come back to that point to favor certain person from a particular region. But Pika, you mentioned something earlier when you started talking. You said that if Babache Lawa, the likes of Babache Lawa and the like of Rabi Musa Kwankwaso has raised eyebrow during the time of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, you wouldn't have complained or have an issue with this. But I'd like to find out. Now, the people complaining about Yorubanization against the present President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are from the north. Now, if you look at development in the north, these people have been in power. I remember some time ago we were discussing, counting the years and numbers of years some of these men have been in politics. Why haven't they, when they had the privilege as governor, some of them as governor, SGF, senior men in the society, why haven't they used their own might to fix their, because Rabi Musa Kwankwaso's complaint was that the president ignores development in the north. So why haven't they? I remember when some time ago Ghana was saying something like, I'm trying to pick the word back verbatim, quote him, where he said, if it's possible to take the governors from the north, take them to the south and bring the south, and let's see if development will happen. Looking at FCT as a case study, this is the first time the president of Nigeria since democracy will appoint a southerner as the minister of FCT. And we all can testify that apart from El-Rufai, Wike has done a lot in Abuja, in FCT. So I want you to juxtapose the appointment of Wike and look at these men that complain. Why is it that majority of the people complaining are the main big wigs from the north?
Well, you see, what people don't know about politics is that I'm a scientist, a political scientist. What people don't know that the society is a laboratory for us to see. Now, interest is what is topmost in politics. Now, what you see in politics is the fact that you from the north, him from the south, the reason you people fight is not because you love your people. The reason you fight is because you say, at this point in time, Ghana is taking more than you. That's the truth. So the reason they are fighting right now is because they feel that personal resources coming to them. When it was coming to them, they would defend it. There's an analogy that the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, analyzed on one podcast. He said, if you said you need a cat and you need a lion is of the cat family, and you need this cat, and this cat is gotten from the north, most of the time you look at the whole north, there are a lot of that cat, the lion cat there. But you don't want to choose somebody from the north. So what you do, you look for someone from the south. There are no lion cat there. The only one you see in the south is pussycat. So you now said, oh, cat na cat. My brother, cat no be cat. There's a lion, there's a tiger, there's a Kruger. I mean, then there's a smaller cat. There's bobcat, other form of lion. But the one that you need is a lion. I don't know if you understand. And you can only get it from the north. But the biasness is that people look to the south and say, no, cat na cat. Even though you know that this particular cat cannot do the job. Though they are of the same family. I don't know if you understand. So what you see most of the time is the fact that people look up to people that they think are loyal to them and people that will serve their interests. And let me tell you the truth. People that will serve your interest, that will not serve the nation's interest, you are not a true leader. What we have in our country, we have rulers in our country. We don't have leaders
who
in
are
our
also
country.
surrounded with psychopaths.
Exactly. We have rulers. You see, a leader leads the people to the direction. Moses was a leader. People like Sir Ahmadu Bello, they were leaders. He said, Tafawa Balewa, go to the center. I don't want to go to the center. I want to see that the 19 northern states that we have now moves forward. We have other people like Akintola in the southwest. Now, the distribution of things in the whole north were everywhere. I don't know if you understand. He didn't say, oh, only to the Hausa speaking part. No. What we have today is leaders, is rulers, people that maim the people that put people that. That's why I'm telling you that most of these people, if you say they are from the south, why have we not seen massive development in the south? Or why didn't we see massive development in Sokoto, in Brinikepi, in Zamfara? Why didn't we see it in Katsina? Even Katsina is one of the most hit places of terrorism and banditry. And meanwhile, the president is from Katsina.
The former president.
That's the former president.
And even the former minister of aviation.
They are from Katsina. That's Iraqi. Why did we see an airport that will be upgraded, right, to a status of an international airport?
Yeah.
Okay, even if it's a cargo airport that will serve the north. We can have a cargo airport that will serve the whole north in Katsina. Why didn't we see a dual carriage road going from Abuja here to Mina? We have two presidents that came from Niger State. Why did we saw when Goodluck Jonathan was returning to Otoke? I mean, it was messy. They put a rock. I mean, these rulers that are not leaders that we talk about, they serve their interest and don't serve the interest of no other person. Whether they are brother, that they speak the same language, same religion. So the masses must look beyond the fact that, hey, he's our leader. He's not speaking for you, he's speaking for your person.
It's okay. So the masses must look beyond. But unfortunately, the masses are the one clamoring for these people. They are the one clapping for them.
Because they have weaponized poverty.
So just recently, the EFCC arrested.
Oh, so sorry. So that issue of weaponizing poverty. Sorry, quickly. I think I want to also address it a bit. You know, we're talking this afternoon, and I told you. I said one of the problems we also have in this country is that Nigerians, they do selective justice. They also have a problem. For example, PK, in this country, Nigerians think that it is right to call the president to do the right thing. They feel it is right to say, oh, president, you are not leading us well. What you are doing is bad. We are hungry. They feel it is right. But then, these same people who think it is right to call their political leaders to account has failed to call their religious leaders to account.
Well, you know, we are not the religious leaders. You know,
meanwhile, the way the Bible had stated it, as a Christian, if you look at it, the president of this nation should even be more respected than a religious leader.
You know, Nigeria is a very religious country.
Do you understand?
So, yes.
The people are also the problem.
You see, let me tell you something. Shore spoke to me one time and said, do you know that Nigerian people are a conquered people, especially because of the failure of the government of the day. If you go to UK, you will see that government provides you everything. So to a large extent, the government is their God. Even if you go to South Africa, you don't pray for electricity.
No,
you don't do that.
It's not a miracle.
I don't know if you understand.
Yes.
So as a result of the failure of the government, people now look to religious leader and to God, which they think is an intermediary to God, either churches or mosque or a traditional worship. I don't know if you understand. So as a result of that, it's the failure of the government that led to this one. Listen, you don't pray for good roads. You construct good roads.
Pray for water.
You don't pray for water. You provide pipe-borne water.
Yes.
You don't pray for electricity. Here now we are not praying for
You don't pray for money for school.
We provided electricity here. You can't come and bill us for it.
No.
I don't know if you understand.
Yes.
So the average Nigerian is a government to himself because you provide your own security.
Exactly.
You provide your
so why
own
should I look
water.
to the government?
Yes.
And most of the time, people now have to look to religious leaders because we look whether we like it or not. Life is spiritual. Whether you and I like it or not, life is very spiritual. You must have done everything right in life, and things are not going right. So as a result of that, people look up to God.
Okay, so like I was trying to bring us to the other story. Only recently, the EFCC invited the former governor of Sokoto and former governor of one time, just most thinking of it, the former deputy speaker, Emeka Ihedioha. They were invited for questioning, and but we learned that Tambuwal spent some hours, like a day, at the hostel of the EFCC. Now, talking about the people, that's why I want to bring this. Upon arrival to his hometown in Sokoto.
No, not just, sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
Not just in arrival to Sokoto. His house in Abuja here suddenly became a Mecca.
So that's where I'm
Where people were going to pray for his.
So look at what we are saying. You talk about the people, and I try to align my thought with this. How long, just like Charlie Boy will always say, our mumu done too much. Who would deliver us? Remind me of the music of what's his name? He said, "Where are the prophets?"
Orisuliki.
No, not Orisuliki. Sorry, I'll remember. I tell you. He said, "Where are the prophets?" And we think we have the prophet, but look at the people. He never told them, "Wait for me," but they were waiting. Sometimes the politicians don't need to say a word, but the people are already fighting for them.
No, but
that divided people first. Now, and also looking at the rousing welcome that he got, people besieged his house waiting for him, and now the crowd expecting him. What will you say about that?
So you see, I do not believe that he didn't ask people to wait for him. You see, these politicians, they have become entertainers.
The rent crowd.
They know what to do. They want to make you feel like they have supporters. So you see, publicity is of three ways: propaganda, controversy, and hype. These are three strategic tools used. And before now, these strategic tools were just used by entertainers alone. But as of today, politicians has jumped in and they're even using it better than the entertainers as at today. They create controversy. There are a lot of politicians who know that, they are very irrelevant, but they will just come and make statements and then blow it with the media for you to hear their name. Do you understand? I can bet you that all those crowds you are seeing there, money has changed hands. How much that changed hands is what we cannot tell. Okay. It may be small, they may be big. However, do not also forget that once some persons are there to champion it, naturally, other persons will just join. And so it makes the crowd a mammoth crowd.
Okay.
However, you see, Nigerians today, because of the hunger when people they feel for this country, Nigerians just want it today. They believe say tomorrow opportunity
God
go come.
God go provide them.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So if they are seeing 2,000 naira today that they can use to eat, Nigerians will jump on it. Okay. I saw a video circulating on social media where a guy was talking that it is cheaper for him to take drugs to make him high than buying food for him to eat. That is a painful situation that we are in Nigeria.
So PK, do you also agree that the crowd there were the one praying for him for his safe return, as if he had left Nigeria, he's arrested by the FBI? What now happened is the like of the FBI and the CIA found him wanting. What would now happen? So do you also agree that the crowd there were rented crowd?
Let me start from the later.
Okay.
There are two ways to it. there is a committed crowd, there is a rented crowd, but the rented crowd is like 80%. The small other cliche that is not rented are the beneficiaries of his government or of his political ascendancy, because somebody said that you are the leader of politics in this place. Now, so most of the crowd, I can tell you, 2,000, 3,000, that's the weaponization of poverty that we are talking about. That's number one. Number two, they won't have mind if the FBI or the London Metropolitan Police arrested him. Why? Because they feel that that one is more authentic. How many APC House of Rep member, former governors have been arrested
by the EFCC.
By the EFCC and prosecuted and sent to jail. So they feel that if no other person has been arrested for that, my own, why will you address why will you arrest my own? So because this one now, dog chop dog.
Yes.
At the time of Obasanjo, the EFCC was created. Obasanjo used it to hunt down any voice that was coming. Of course, we saw not Amechi, that's Odili, wanted to be president of Nigeria, but Obasanjo tell him, "Oya, go and sit down there." I don't know if you understand. Yes. So most of the time, these institutions have become tools in the hands of government to bring down or to force.
Even the time of Jonathan, the DSS were also used.
It's at all points.
And to also add to what you said, people also believe. Yes, people also believe. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio also left and went to APC because he was afraid of EFCC Okowa's decamping. People are also talking about it, both Okowa and Sheriff. I mean, so these are issues. Like he said, people would say, oh, if you've not arrested this person because he's not a member of APC, why are you going to arrest my own because he's at the opposition?
Okay, so because of our time, we may not be able to go to the net, but we know that INEC distributes sensitive material for Edo by election taking place tomorrow. And well, I don't know, do we have 10 seconds to say something about it?
Well, the election that is happening tomorrow, a lot of controversy in it. Labour Party is trying to get a court injunction to stop the election because they are not listed on the ballot. And SDP has gotten their own court.
They are celebrating.
This thing they are celebrating so that they will be included in it. Obi has said that, that members of the obedient movement should not vote for any candidate in Labour. They should vote for ADC candidate. So a lot of here and there, in all over the, not only in doing Kaduna, all vacant positions, whether it's State House of Assembly, some that have died, some that have moved up to other things and all that.
Some that are arrested.
Some that are arrested, and all that. I had Ghana's friend, one of Ghana's friends was arrested.
Yes.
And the money is with Ghana.
So that brings us to the point where he said
that's why we are here at the.
That's why he.
That's why we are here. We use it to drink.
And that's why he said that the former president employed, gave ministers to some ghosts.
They should bring good meat pepper soup so that we can spend some of the money. However, from me, I want to say that for everywhere the by-election is going to take place tomorrow, please. I mean, this is a test run of what the 2027 election would look like. Vote your choice. Vote your candidate. Do not be lured by monetary, inducement to vote for people that will not be able to deliver on the mandate that they should deliver. Vote right so that at the end of the day you don't come out and start crying. Why me? Why me?
On your mandate.
No, not on that mandate. On the mandate of the people. On the mandate of the people.
Exactly, the mandate of the people. Let the voice of the people, let it be heard, and let the vote count. And gentlemen, enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend. Let them be for the people.
And the world, the weekend politics Friday edition, and we'll just take it up. Thank you very much.